The marble floor gleamed like polished glass beneath the golden glow of the chandelier, reflecting the shiny shoes of affluent travelers. Crossing the hotel's grand lobby, laughter and cheerful voices echoed through the space as men in crisp suits and women in elegant gowns drifted toward the reception desk. Amid this dazzling scene, two figures stood awkwardly out of place. An older man with weathered skin and a frayed hat gripped a scuffed leather suitcase. Beside him was a frail woman, wrapped in a faded scarf and wearing a thin coat far too light for the morning chill. Her eyes, dimmed by years of hardship, scanned the floor as though she wasn't sure she belonged there at all. Yet, in the man's upright stance remained a quiet strength, dignity that neither age nor poverty had managed to break. Before they spoke a word, the manager leaned across the counter. Tall, slick-haired, dressed in a sharp gray suit, he smirked, his voice deliberately loud. "Pay for the cheapest room and leave quickly. People like you don't belong here." The staff chuckled behind him, their cruel laughter cutting through the lobby. The woman lowered her head, clutching her bag tighter, her shoulders trembling with shame. But the man did not waver. His steady gaze locked on the manager, silencing those close enough to notice. "Friends, before we continue, I'd like to pause. If you believe in kindness, in giving people second chances, and in standing up for what's right, please like this video, subscribe to Stories of Kindness, and share this story with someone who needs encouragement today. Your support helps us spread these stories of compassion to the world." The old man's name was Elias, a farmer who had spent his life laboring in the fields. From sunrise to sunset, his hands had turned the soil, sown seeds, and harvested crops that nourished countless families. But in the city, his patched shirt and worn shoes made him invisible. Or worse, an object of scorn. His wife, Ruth, had stood beside him for decades, raising children, enduring storms, and making meals from whatever little they had. After selling the last of their modest farm, they had come to the city not for luxury but necessity, seeking shelter for one night before an important medical appointment. Yet to the hotel staff, their presence was laughable, as though poverty stripped them of their dignity. The humiliation was sharp. Guests turned to watch, some sneering, others pitying. Ruth's eyes brimmed with tears, but Elias placed a steady hand over hers. He did not shout, nor did he beg. Instead, in a calm, resolute voice honed by years of endurance, he said, "Son, I am not here to ask for what I cannot pay. I am here to rest, after giving more than 50 years of my life to feed people like you. This suitcase you mock once carried the tools that tilled the earth, ensuring children in this city never went hungry." His words carried no anger, yet they struck with undeniable truth. The chatter in the lobby ceased. Even the tapping of polished shoes on marble stilled. The smirk on the manager's face faltered, replaced with unease. Ruth lifted her gaze, her courage restored by her husband's strength. Elias continued, "These worn clothes were earned honestly. Every wrinkle in this shirt tells a story of work. Every scar on my hands marks survival. If you see me only as a customer for your cheapest room, then remember, cheap does not mean worthless. My life has been richer than these walls could ever hold." A hush fell across the room. A young woman behind the desk bit her lip, her forced smile fading. Guests who had laughed now shifted uneasily, their amusement soared by guilt. One elderly woman clapped softly. A man followed. Soon, applause spread through the hall, hesitant at first, but growing louder, until it drowned out the cruel laughter. The manager's face flushed, not with anger, but with shame. Ruth gripped Elias's hand, tears glistening now with pride. The same man who had bent over fields for decades stood tall, reminding everyone that dignity cannot be measured in wealth. Finally, the manager stammered, "Sir, I apologize. Please accept the suite, free of charge." But Elias shook his head firmly. "We did not come for charity. We only ask for what we can pay, no more, no less." His refusal struck deeper than any anger could. He had not only silenced ridicule, but transformed it into a lasting lesson in humility. As the couple accepted their room keys, Ruth leaned on her husband's arm, her heart lighter than it had been in years. The world had tried to strip them of worth, But Elias proved that true richness lies not in coins or fine suits, but in the strength to stand tall when others try to belittle you. The lobby that once rang with mockery now lingered in silence, heavy with admiration, as the farmer and his wife walked toward the elevators with their dignity intact. If this story touched you, friends, please don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Stories of Kindness. Each click helps us bring more stories of courage, love, and compassion into the world. And before we close, let me ask you, what would you have done if you were standing in that hotel lobby? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear them, because sometimes the poorest hands carry the richest hearts, and sometimes one voice is all it takes to silence a room.